Kamala Harris has plans for your guns, but more than that, she's willing to threaten Congress if they don't make a law that matches her desires immediately. Watch this.
Do you believe in the mandatory buyback of quote-unquote assault weapons?
I do believe that we need to do buybacks, and I'll tell you why. They are weapons of war with no place on the streets of a civil society.
I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws. And if they fail to do it, then I will take executive action.
Mandatory buyback. That may be the greatest formulation ever. It's like mandatory donation. It's not a donation, it's theft. A mandatory buyback isn't a buyback, it's seizure, obviously. So why does Kamala Harris want to seize your guns? For the babies, of course.
We have to have smart gun safety laws. And we cannot tolerate a society and live in a country with any level of pride when our babies are being slaughtered.
Babies are being slaughtered. Okay, so clearly we have mislabeled Kamala Harris. Turns out she's one of the few pro-life Democrats in the Senate. Colion Noir is an attorney. He's a Second Amendment advocate. We're happy to have him on tonight. Mr. Noir, great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
So
Absolutely.
it's for the babies. So Kamala Harris cares about the babies. You obviously don't, since you're for the Second Amendment. Defend yourself.
Well, let's get one thing clear that I think a lot of people aren't really talking about. We're talking about a potential Kamala presidency, not so much a Joe Biden presidency, because his mental acuity is by far in question. That being said, what a lot of people don't understand is she's talking about a gun confiscation. There are a lot of people out there who are new gun owners who are saying, oh, no, well, you know, they're going to let you keep your guns. They just want these guns. No, it's a gun confiscation. And in the clip that you played, she talked about a mandatory buyback. But she did an interview in 2019 where she said she supported a forced gun buyback, which is essentially a gun confiscation.
Yeah. So
they can use whatever pretty fancy words or euphemisms that she wants to use, but what she's talking about is literally taking people's guns. And I think people really need to grasp that and stop falling for all the fancy words that she's putting out there.
So this just occurred to me. So she's calling for gun confiscation, a mandatory buyback. That will be enforced with guns, right?
Pretty
so
much,
she wants to use guns to threaten people till they give up their guns. There seems to be an irony embedded at the center of this.
Well, she's not inherently anti-gun. Right. She's anti-gun for you and I.
Exactly.
But when it comes to her having guns or whoever she has enforced her laws having guns, she doesn't have a problem with that. And this has nothing to do with the babies. It really doesn't. What it boils down to is they really want to take all of the guns. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but let's think about it from a number standpoint. Less than 1% of gun deaths in this country are committed with AR-15s, which she wants to ban. So let's say she does get that ban. Then what is she going to say next whenever we have another shooting that happens to happen? What is she going to say next? She's going to have to go to handguns next because, as I stated, less than 1% of gun deaths in this country happen by way of AR-15s.
But wait, I don't think that's the right number. What percentage of households in counties that are not going to vote for Joe Biden have AR-15s? Like a ton. So isn't that really the point? She's disarming people who don't vote for her.
Pretty much. Now, the thing about it is what's interesting is recently there have been a wave of people who were otherwise anti-gun and probably are going to vote for her who actually went out and bought AR-15s recently.
I noticed.
Who don't even realize her true stance on this issue.
That is such a good point. Do you have, really quick, do you have the numbers? I can't remember them, but the number in the increase in gun purchases has been without precedent. Like this never happened before, right?
I'll put it like this. I've been a 2A advocate for almost 10, 12 years now. I've never seen it this high.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people understand. People who don't want to buy guns are buying guns anyway because they have no choice. That tells you.
I just hope that they understand that continuing to vote for people like Kamala Harris or Joe Biden is effectively them taking those guns away from them.
That's right. You can't have no police and no self-defense. That doesn't work. Kamala, by the way, we've been instructed to say Kamala, just so you know. Great to see you. Colion Noir, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tucker.